Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. I want to say thank you to all our subscribers. Today we'll be learning how to make this beautiful Ankara top. It's so beautiful and simple to make. It's a DIY. With 2 years of fabric, we made this beautiful top rather. So let's get started. So we'll be needing our Ankara fabric, our lining, which is optional, a zip, your tape rule, chalk and scissors. So what you do first is to place your fabric on fold, which is what I'm doing now. The biggest measurement of this is our bust. Our bust is 37. The bust of this line is 37. So I divided 37 into 4 and I added 5 inches to it. That was what I used. 37 divided into 4 is 9¼ plus 5. That's about 14 inches. Let's say 15 inches. That was what I placed on fold. Then the length of the blouse is 25. So I use 26. That one is all depends on your preference. So I'm trying to mark the length of the blouse first after folding it. Can you see what I'm doing? So the next thing I'll do now, I'll go back to the upper part now. I'll put in my back measurement. That's the shoulder measurement. Shoulder measurement is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. I just added ½ inch. That's 8½. That's what the mark I just wrote now. So I'll use 8 for the armhole as well. That's for the chest line rather. So that's the line I'm ruling out now. Just the way you draft your basic bodice pattern. So my 1 inch shoulder slope is what I'm marking out. Then for the neckline, I'm doing 3 by 4 inches. It's kind of high, it's a high neck. 3 by 4 inches is what I'm marking out. 3 by 4 inches. It's a round neck, so I'll just mark that out now. Then connect to that shoulder, 1 inch shoulder slope. So I'm trying to mark out my armhole properly now. That's for my armhole. So I'm putting my bust measurement, which is 37 divided by 4, 9.25. I'm adding 2 inches allowance to my bust measurement. So for my waistline, our shoulder to our waist is 17 inches. I mean the length. So that's where I'll put my waist measurement. So our waist is 35½, which is almost 9 inches when you divide by 4. So I'm going to mark that now. I'm dividing it by 4. Then I'll add 2 inches allowance as well. I'll still add that same 2 inches I added to the bust to it. Then at the hemline, I'm going to add 4 inches or 5 inches to what I use for the waist to give it that flare shape. So I'll just place my ruler and connect it. At the hem, I added 4 inches. You can do 5 or 4 inches to the measurement of the waist so that it will not just be straight. Then at the lower part, go up with 1 inch to avoid that sharp edge. Then connect to the... See what I'm doing now? Yes. It's connected. So avoid that edge being sharp. So I'm trying to cross-check my measurements. I'm going through it again to check the length, if I'm okay with it. The length is 25. I use 26 because I'm going to use lining. It's optional. You can sew without lining it. But I just want to line this blouse. So I will cut that cutting now. I'll cut out my fabric. It's very simple. Lining it is optional. So I'm done cutting the front part. So see what we have. Can you see? So beautiful. So I'll use this to cut the back pattern. I'll just place my fabric on fold, then place this. I'm adding 1 inch for my zip. Putting a zipper on this blouse is optional. The person I'm making it for said she wants a zip, so you can just slit it at the back, then use button, whichever one will come out nice, but we want to put a zip, so I'll just add 1 inch at that back for the zip. Then I'll use the front pattern to cut the back. So that's what I'm doing now. So I'll just go ahead and cut that out. Remember, it's optional. You may decide not to use a zip, so just slit it at the back and put buttons, so it will be easy for you to wear it. So I'm trying to cut out the neckline. So because I'm using a zipper, I'll cut that into 2 parts now. Can you see? So we are done with the blouse. So we'll use our remaining fabric to cut the sleeve. This is the method I want to use to cut the sleeve for this blouse. So the sleeve length I'm using is about 16 inches. That's what I have. So I don't have much fabric, so I'm not cutting a basic sleeve. I'm just cutting a straight fabric, then I'll plait it to form the sleeve I want. So see how I folded it into 2 parts. So I'll cut this out. This is for 1 sleeve. Can you see? I just folded it. Then I'll repeat same process for the second sleeve. I'll cut that out as well. So that's what I'm using for the sleeve. It's wide though, because I'm going to plait it, but not so wide. We are managing these 2 yards of Ankara for this. So what I used was 16 by 16. So see, I'm trying to get the second sleeve. So the first one I cut, look at it. I'll put it on top, then use it to cut out the second sleeve. So that's that for the sleeve. Then this is the band. So that will be enough for the 2 bands. So I'm going to cut that out as well. It's 5 inches. So when I place it on fold, to be 2.5, or I think it's about 6 inches. When I place it on fold, for each sleeve, I will have like 3 inches, like the band on the sleeve. Can you see? Okay, see it. So that will be for 1 band, and the other one will be for the second band. Then the sleeve, if you look at it closely, it has something like strips that was tied on the band. So there are 4, 2 for this side and 2 for this other side. So that's what I'm trying to cut out now. I'm trying to cut out the strips. Can you see? So I'll cut 4 of these, like the strips that will tie at the band on the sleeve of the clothes. So we'll be needing 4 of it. So I'm done cutting that. So I think I did 4 inches. So now I'm cutting out the lining for the blouse. Like I said, lining it is optional. It all depends on you. If you don't line it, it will still come out fine. But I just want to line this blouse. So the next thing you do, place the lining on the right side of the blouse. Then you are going to sew the neck round, like as I'm doing now. Just watch what I'm doing. So you still place the lining on the right side though, and sew it in front like this. Then you fold it up and sew the sides. You repeat that for the front and the back pattern. So I'm done doing that now. Can you see? So I'm trying to turn it out from the armhole after turning everything with the lining. So I'll turn everything out for the back pattern as well. I'll turn everything out from the armhole. Then I'll use my iron to give it a good press so it will look neat. So I'm going to put on the iron and iron. So I'll iron it to give it that neat look. So I'm done ironing. So I'll turn it now and I want to shape it. So now for the shaping, I'll remember the bust measurement is 37. 37 divided by 2 is 18.5. So I'm adding 1.5 inch. I'll just use 39 inches. 37, I added 1.5 inch to it for ease. It's not a fitted blouse, or you can use 14 inches. So what I have left there, I'm dividing into 2 equal parts on both sides. So I'm just trying to use my ruler. I'll just trace it down to give it that flare shape. I only shaped my bust, added 2 inches for allowance. So I'll bring it down. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay. So the next thing I'll do now, I'll place the back pattern, right side facing right side, on it. Then I'll take it to the sewing machine. I'll sew on the chalk line that I just marked out in the front. The first thing I'll do now, I want to join the shoulders. This is how I'll join it. Look, see how I'm arranging it. Please watch carefully. So I'll place it like that for the shoulders, then fold it to one side and sew it down. I'll repeat the same process for the other shoulder to give it that neat finishing on the inside. So I'm taking it to the sewing machine now. So I'm done joining it. See what I have. Then I added the zip after shaping it. That's my zip there. I've added the zip. That's the zip. So I've added the zip there. So let's start making the sleeves now. So that's one of the sleeve and that's the other one. So I'm taking it to the sewing machine. Remember those straps, I've sewn them like rope already. So I'm putting it inside the first band, the way I arrange it now. So I'll sew it down. Can you see what I just did? So the second strap, I'll put it inside too. That's the place I'm putting it is inside the right side. Then I'll sew it from the wrong side. The strap is inside. See the way I'm doing it. So when I bring it out, this band was measured though. You measure around the person's band, how fitted you want it. For this person, I used 12 inches. So I'm going to cover it up. I'm covering the band up at that upper part. That's what I'm doing now. If you pay attention, it's very easy. So I'll take this main sleeve now. I'll fold the edge of the sleeve. And I'll sew it. I'll repeat the same thing for the other side of the sleeve. This place I'm sewing is the side though. You know, I just cut straight fabric for the sleeve. See what I'm doing? So I'm sewing it like that. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like and share our videos so you'll be notified whenever we post new videos. And please don't forget to drop your comments as well. So when I'm done doing that now, I'll take that band. You see that place that I sewed down, not the edge that I've covered up. I'll start planting the lower part of the sleeve on it, on the band. I'll start plinting on it all the way down. So when I'm done plinting, see what we have. See how it's looking at the upper part now. Can you see how the strap is standing? That's what we used to tie. So I'll measure from that lower part. I'll measure like 3 inches. I'll leave there open so it can be tied at that edge. So I will start joining it up from that 3 inches I marked. So I'll leave the 3 inches open, then I'll just start sewing it up on the wrong side. So when I'm done, I'll use my Sega machine to weave the edge to give it that neat look. I didn't line this sleeve, so I'm done with the sleeve. See what I have. So that's what we have for the sleeve. So see it on the table. I'll just put it on the, see it on the table. I'll plait it around that armhole for the 2 sleeves, and our blouse is ready. So see what we have. Can you see how beautiful it's looking? So you just tie it at the edge of the sleeve there. It's a simple blouse that can be worn on jean or anything. It's very beautiful and simple to make. See the blouse. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching. So see you in our next video. Bye.